Today I'm in the mountains near Island Park, Idaho, and this is where I usually elk hunt. So I thought I'd take the camera out and do some scouting and see if I can find where the elk are right now. So we're going to look for some elk signs, some trails. I've also got to be aware of the grizzly bears around here. There are several. In fact, last year while I was hunting, a guy about a mile and a half from where I was camped booted one from a bed where the grizzly was sleeping during the daytime and got chomped on a little bit. So, I always have to watch out for bears. There's a lot of bear sign around here, so we'll be careful and see what happens. This is what you're looking for when you're looking for bear sign, is activity where the logs have been rolled and torn up. That's the bears looking for grubs. And of course, the fresher the logs, the more chance there are that there's going to be a bear nearby. So we always got to be careful. It's early summer, so there's a lot of green grass in the meadows. A lot of young quakies are sprouting up. It's a beautiful time to be up here. And it rained yesterday, and there are fresh elk tracks on this game trail. Even though it's early July, the low spots in this meadow are still mushy from the snow melt. It still hasn't completely dried out yet. It's not walking through the trees that's a pain in the butt. It's climbing over all this deadfall. Sometimes it gets a major labor just getting through it. It's actually pretty warm right now, probably about 70-75 degrees. And since it rained yesterday, it's pretty humid up here as well. I wanted to take a look at something over here. The root systems of these pine trees aren't very deep, so if the ground gets real saturated and then a wind comes through, it'll blow these trees over. There's the base of the tree. You can see that it's damp right down below it. And it just blew the whole tree right over. That's why you have to be careful where you're standing if you get a combination of wind and rain up here, because these trees will go right over on you. In fact, there was a scoutmaster at a camp not too far away from here called Little Limhi, where during one of these rainstorms the tree blew over on top of him and killed him. Okay, this may look like a small stream or a creek, but actually it's the headwaters of a river. So but it is beautiful this time of year. This is also a primary location for the animals to get their water after the higher water dries up in the fall. During the fall, this little pool right here turns into a wallow, and it's basically a big mud pie that the elk come play in, and the bulls cover themselves with mud. This thing gets torn up really bad in the fall, and it's always a good place to sit on, wait and see if you can spot an elk. There's a little bit of clouds moving in, but I doubt if it's going to come to rain. One of the things I like to take with me when I'm wandering around the woods is my iPhone. Cabela's has got a great app for it. It's a hunter's app that gives you lets you set waypoints and put them against Google Earth. It's indispensable when you're hunting the Rockies, because it really gives you a clear picture of the topography along with the streams and everything else. Good thing to have. Here's a few more elk tracks on this game trail. But there hasn't been a lot of activity up here. We're probably down too low, and they're up higher where it's cooler. Okay, well, what did we learn today? Learned that there's plenty of grass, the water looks good, and we've seen a few elk tracks. But obviously it's early in the season, so the elk are probably up higher, at least the bulk of them. And didn't see any real fresh bear sign, maybe a couple of stumps overturned, but not a lot of activity from bears either right here. So usually they're down here later in the year when they're getting ready to go into rut, and the bulls congregate along with the cows. Well, we'll see what happens later. But thanks for joining me on my little scouting trip today, and we'll see you again soon.